All right, guys. Welcome to my channel, by the way. And again, if you're new to the channel, just go ahead and click the subscribe button. And I want to thank you. Share with everybody. But guys, listen. I keep coming to you all with Bernie Sanders. The Democratic primaries are currently going on, and when you listen to the message of Bernie Sanders, if you are a rightfully thinking human being, as long as you're fair, you believe in equality for everybody, you believe that everybody should have access to the basics of life. Bernie Sanders definitely is the one that's preaching that message, and that is why the establishment is kind of, they're jittery, they're scared. They know that Bernie Sanders is going to change the status quo in this country. It's going to be about the working class people and no longer about the elites or the rich folks. So I'm going to share this interview with you all because I want you all to see sometimes it's nice when it comes from the horse's mouth himself. So listen to this interview by Anderson Cooper on CNN with Bernie Sanders, the way he answers these questions and, expressing his emotions as to how and what he cares about. Listen to it for yourself.
And welcome back to our countdown to Super Tuesday. More of our interview with Senator Bernie Sanders. Senator Sanders, your co-chair, Congressman Ro Khanna, told the Wall Street Journal that he's been trying to convince you to portray yourself differently as a successor of Franklin Roosevelt and as a New Dealer. Do you ever regret labeling yourself a democratic socialist?
No, I am what I am.
So you see the way he's framing this question? Because Bernie Sanders says he's a democratic socialist. What does he mean by democratic socialist? Listen to himself so you could hear from the horse's mouth, and then you can make a decision.
And what democratic socialism is about to me is understanding that we have in many ways, Anderson, a socialist society today. But it is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. reminded us, we have socialism for the rich and rugged individualism for the poor and for other people. When Donald Trump was a private businessman, he received $800 million in tax breaks and subsidies to build luxury housing. That's called socialism for the rich. When Amazon, one of the largest, the most profitable corporations in America, doesn't pay a nickel in federal income taxes last year, that's called socialism.
Remember, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, who's the owner of Amazon, is one of the richest Americans, right? He's the richest man in the world. He recently just purchased a real estate in New York, in California actually, for over $165 million. It is said to be one of the most expensive real estate deals in American history. $165 million for the mansion that he just bought. Okay, listen.
For the rich. When we give tens of billions of dollars in subsidies and tax breaks to the fossil fuel industry, whose product is destroying our planet, that's called socialism for the rich. What I want to do is bring government programs to help working families. We are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a human right. And yet we're spending twice as much per capita on health care as do the people of other countries. We're the only major country not to have paid family and medical leave. We're giving tax breaks to billionaires when 500,000 people are sleeping out on the streets tonight. When we have a dysfunctional child care system, we're underfunding education for low-income and working-class families, and hundreds of thousands of bright young people can't afford to go to college, and others are leaving school deeply in debt.
I mean, tell me you don't see yourself in this situation. I might not be in this situation. You might not be in this situation, but there are millions of Americans, hundreds of thousands of Americans that are going through this. You have a friend, you have a family, you have a neighbor, somebody that's going through this. And this is America, the richest country in the world. Tell me why you shouldn't support Bernie Sanders for the Democratic primary. Today's Super Tuesday, and he's going to go up against, he's the future president of America. I can see that, guys. This man is going to work for the middle class. Listen to him for yourself.
So to me, what I'm talking about is getting our priorities right. No more tax breaks for billionaires, no more subsidies for the fossil fuel industry. Let's pay attention to the working families of this country. Healthcare is a human right. We need universal, affordable child care for all. We need to make sure that the United States is leading the world in the fight against climate change so that we leave this planet in a healthy and habitable way for kids and future generations. Bottom line, that's all that this is about. Government policy that works for the middle class, works for working class, works for low-income people, and not for just wealthy campaign contributors. And by the way, while we're at it,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
But guys, this is the message, and this is what Bernie Sanders stands for. So when I say Bernie Sanders is one of the most authentic politicians that mankind has get to know in this 21st century, That is it right there. This is honesty right there. This is somebody who's going to say what he's going to do. You know, he's saying what he's going to do. There's no two ways to this. There's no TikTok. No, Bernie Sanders is the man for us. So I'm imploring all of you guys out there. You know, those of us that migrated to come over here. You know, you don't give up on the political system. Don't say, oh, you know, I don't care about American politics and this and that. You know, hey, I always say something. Local politics as well as presidential and Senate politics goes a long way. You have to get involved. Go vote, even if you don't want to come out and knock on doors, but go cast your vote. If you're a citizen, register. Make sure you vote. This 2020 elections is very crucial for America and the path it's going to go. And Bernie Sanders is going to fight for you, fight for your family, fight for Americans, the working class Americans, middle class Americans, poor Americans. I leave it right here, guys.